Hi guys, how you going? It's Tom from Adventures in a Bus, and today we're going to have a look at the power system that we have set up to run our bus on the road and off-grid. So I would say the first thing we need to look at first is, when you're looking at a power system, is it just exactly what devices and what you need to run in your bus, because too many people go out there and start looking at systems, but they haven't even taken in consideration what they're going to be using. So the first step would be to just make a list of what you need to run. So once you've worked out the appliances and devices you want to use, the next step, number 2, is to work out the amps for each of these devices. Now on the back of an appliance or device, it will give you the amps that it uses. So you need to go through all your different devices and just roughly calculate how much they'll use. Now sometimes they don't have the amps written on the back of them, so you can simply get the watts, and a formula you can find online will just convert that into amps. The reason this is important is because you can when you get a rough estimation of how many amps you're going to use, is then when you can work out exactly how much battery power you're going to need to power up these devices. So once you've roughly calculated the amps you're going to need, the job then becomes quite a bit easier. In our particular case, we have then gone for 2 deep cycle batteries. Now these are AmpTech 130 amp hours each, which gives us 260 amp hour, which I'd worked out to be quite adequate for what we needed. From the batteries, now how do we charge these batteries? The simple thing is just a regulator. Now we had a look into the technologies, and an MPPT is the latest technology out. What this means on a high level is that it takes care of your batteries. So when the batteries get low, it'll do a full drive charge to it, and when they get quite full, it'll start trickle charging. So essentially you don't really have to watch out for the batteries. The regulator in this case will do everything for you. So this one's a tracer, and you can get them off eBay or a lot of places online. They're quite popular and got really good reviews. We then go to our inverter to take 12 volt to 240 to generate for the bus to run things like your microwaves and my computer and things like that. In this case we went for a better quality one, a kick-ass 2000 watt inverter, and the reason why is because I want to look after all my things that run on 240. I don't want any sort of a dodgy charge coming through that may potentially blow it up or anything like that. We've also got a C-Tech little inverter that takes the 240 from outside when you plug into caravan parks, and will also charge the batteries. So there's a lot sort of coming in and a lot going out, but generally speaking it's not too complicated. So we're up on the roof now, and behind me you'll notice 3 solar panels. Now for most this probably seems like a bit of an overkill, but what we actually discovered is on the road, when you do get overcast days for around about a week, it's really hard to maintain charge to your batteries that you've just seen downstairs. So we end up having 2, which were 440 in total. They're 220 watt solar panels, and now we've got a total 660 watts. Now what this does is, on overcast days, literally we can maintain quite a nice charge to be able to keep those batteries charged up downstairs. On sunny days like this one is probably an overkill, but that doesn't matter because our regulator then, as I was explaining earlier, does the hard work for us and keeps our batteries nice and healthy. So there you have it guys, that's our wrap up of the power system we've got in the bus. It's all been certified by an electrician, which is good, and probably for about the last 3-4 months we've been using this system, and it's just been really great. We haven't had any problems so far. But be sure to subscribe on our YouTube and follow us on Instagram, because we've got loads more tips and tricks coming up, and going to be sharing a lot more of the bus. Cheers.